Let me tell y'all, the wait was worth it because the update I have for you, absolutely insane. If you haven't seen my first video, go watch that and then come back and watch this one. But where we left off is that my boyfriend's sister found out that he was inviting his best girlfriend instead of me. So she revoked his +1 and was sending me my own invitation. First, for the question that everybody's wondering, yes, I dumped him. I'm not gonna sit around and be disrespected like that. Also, I'm the most fun wedding date, so the fact that he didn't want to bring me, it just shows that he has bad judgment, and I can't be dating a man with bad judgment and who disrespects me. And yeah, I sound okay now, but when I broke up with him, I was pretty devastated. I mean, I was with the guy for years, I loved him, and it's a breakup, it's hard. But you know what softened the blow? When I received the invitation for his sister's wedding in the mail. Because not only was it an invitation for me, but it included a +1. By the time she sent me this invitation, I was already broken up with her brother, so she knew what she was doing giving me a +1. Originally, I was thinking about bringing one of my best friends because I know I'm always gonna have a good time with them. But then I thought, you know what? That's not petty enough. You see, something that I have failed to mention about my now ex-boyfriend is that he's a bit of a hypocrite because although he has this best girlfriend, I wasn't allowed to talk to my best guy friend. My best guy friend has been my friend since childhood, and we were super close family friends. Literally, there's never been anything romantic between the two of us, but my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, was incredibly jealous. And he did not like that we would FaceTime, talk on the phone, so he told me that I couldn't talk to him anymore. And thinking back now, honestly, I'm so disappointed in myself that I didn't end the relationship then and that I didn't pick my friend, but I mean, hindsight's 2020. Luckily, after this breakup, I went back to my best guy friend and apologized, and he 100% understood and said no hard feelings and that we'd have a fresh start. I'm so lucky. And what is a better way to have a fresh start than attending a big wedding together? And my best guy friend, he was beyond in on this plan. He knew the reason that we hadn't talked in a few years was because of how jealous and controlling my ex-boyfriend was. So he thought this would be the perfect opportunity to get back at him. So the day of the wedding comes and me and my best friend roll up in the most amazing color coordinated fit. His tie matched my dress, beautiful. And let me tell you, we walked in holding hands. The whole day he had his arm around me, kissing me on the cheek. We were looking super coupley, even though we are the farthest thing from a couple. And whenever my ex saw me and my best friend walk into the ceremony area together, his face turned bright red. He immediately began to storm towards us, but some of the guys in the wedding party had to hold him back so, he wouldn't cause a scene. During the whole ceremony, my ex kept turning around and staring daggers at me and my best guy friend. Like, your sister's getting married, okay? Like, turn around. Like, eyes up front. We were sitting towards the back, so right when the ceremony was over, we were able to rush right out into cocktail hour. And that is where everything got insane. After about 5 minutes of being there, we heard yelling. I turn and guess who I see? But my ex-boyfriend's best girlfriend. Girlie, what are you doing there? You weren't invited. Turns out that when he saw that I brought my best guy friend, he texted her and told her that she needed to get there immediately. Now, all the bridesmaids know that the bride is not a fan of this girl. So they're telling her that she needs to get out. My ex-boyfriend is screaming at them that this is his date and they have no right to talk to her that way. It is a whole mess. I'm loving it, honestly. I just wish that they were serving popcorn at the cocktail hour because it was a show for sure. That's when my ex-boyfriend locks eyes with me and starts making a beeline right for me and my best guy friend. I mean, it was funny seeing him be dramatic and overreact from a distance, but as he's coming towards me, I was not as funny anymore. And, his little best girlfriend is following behind him like a little duckling, and he starts screaming. He's yelling. He's telling me how terrible I am. I don't know. Honestly, I just kind of zoned him out. Why do I care what this man has to say? I listened to this man's useless thoughts for years. I'm not going to give any more time to that. So I'm just standing there nodding. No, you're right. Yeah. No, I get it. I totally. And he is flailing his hands so much when talking that he hits a waiter's platter and it goes up, spills red cocktail sauce all over him. His best little girlfriend tries to help him clean it up with some napkins, but he's so embarrassed that he just starts screaming at her, which makes her start crying. So he's screaming, she's crying, it's a mess. I mean, I'm just there eating my little shrimp cocktail. It was delicious, okay, great. I would actually like to know who the caterer was because top tier. So what does he do? He storms out. He leaves his sister's wedding before the reception. Wild. Which I felt bad. I was like, did I do that? Is this my fault? But obviously, I had asked his sister if I could be petty and bring my guy best friend before the wedding. And she loved it. She said that it was time that her brother learned his lesson and was held accountable. So during the reception, when she came up to me and asked where her brother was, and I told her the story, she burst out laughing. This girl was laughing so hard she was in tears. And I was like, you're not upset that he's not here? And she was like, no, this is the best possible outcome. I am just so glad that he is getting what was coming to him. Now, since the wedding, my ex has been trying desperately to get me back. Showed up outside my window with a boombox. Like, okay, that's cute in a totally different context. When you do it, it's disgusting and cringy. As for my ex's sister, I'm going to her birthday dinner next week. I'm pretty sure we're going to be best friends for life. So at least I got something out of the relationship.
I just found out that my husband and my mother-in-law have both been stealing from my bank account. So a few years ago, I decided to get a job because my husband was the only one that was working at the time, and I really needed a vehicle so that I can take the kids to and from school. And so at the time, he did not want me to get a job. He was refusing, but apparently I convinced him because then he said that it was fine for me to get a job. Because my husband always spends his money on stupid crap, I decided that I wanted to get my own bank account. And because I was married, obviously my husband also told me that he had to be on the account just in case anything were to happen to me, then he could just have access to the funds. Obviously, I was keeping track of every dime that came into my account, every dime that I spent, and it was very weird because after a couple months, I noticed that I was missing maybe $200, and then from there went to $500, and then all of a sudden I was missing almost $1,000. I wasn't taking it out. I was very determined to save up to buy myself a car, and so I asked my husband if he knew anything about it, and he was swearing up and down that he had absolutely nothing to do with it. He was saying that I was crazy, that maybe I got the money out and completely forgot. Because I didn't want to start an argument with my husband, I just left things alone. I was trying to slowly investigate and see what the fuck was going on, because the only people that actually had access were my husband and myself. About 6 months go by, and my mother-in-law comes over to our house to have dinner, and she has a brand new car. So I questioned her, just asking, because she didn't have a job at the time. My husband was helping her with a little bit of money here and there, but not enough to where she could buy a brand new fucking car. Her answer to me was that she was working and that I just didn't know anything about it, but her son did, so I just let that shit go. But eventually, after I was done with my investigation, trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, the bank actually told me that apparently my husband had put my mother-in-law on the account somehow without me even knowing. So come to find out that my mother-in-law was withdrawing money from my account, from my money that I had saved from working 2 full-time jobs, trying to make sure that I had a car for my kiddos and myself. And she decided to take a bunch of money and go buy herself a new car. I confronted my husband first because he was the one that was responsible. He's the one that added my mother-in-law. And he said, "It's just my mom. It's fine. She'll pay you back eventually." I told him not to fucking worry about it. I said, you know what? You're just like your mother. At the end of the day, I don't want to be a part of this shit anymore because you guys fucked me over pretty bad. She took a bunch of money out of my fucking hard-earned money and my bank account. So go fuck yourself. I took my shit, I took my kids, and I fucking left, and I went to my parents' house.
My parents are going to let my little sister's boyfriend propose at my wedding. For context, you have not seen clear favoritism until you've seen the way that my parents treat my little sister. She is the golden child. She can do no wrong, and she's always gotten everything she wanted. Me, no, literally nothing. I was a side character, fully a side character in my family. She actually got everything she wanted. Like, for instance, I walked to school, and on her 15th birthday, she got a new car. Not even her 16th birthday. Who gets a car on their 15th birthday? And I was still walking to school. I still did not have a car. And this did go to her head. She was a brat. Like, was she gonna drive me to school? We went to the same school. Wouldn't drive me. Literally would not drive me in her car. So I would walk and she would drive in the new car my parents got for her. And I don't really know why it was, honestly. Like, I was a really good kid. I got really good grades, never got into any trouble. She was so mean. High school mean girl. Terrible. Honestly, like, I mean, yeah, I was resentful. I was jealous. I feel like anybody would be. But as we've gotten older, I mean, I wouldn't say we're best friends. It's not like I love my sister more than anyone in the world. Like, we tolerate each other and we've gotten closer as we've gotten older. She's gotten nicer. And honestly, I think her boyfriend is really good for her. Neither my fiance or I had the funds for a huge wedding, but his grandparents are literally the sweetest humans on earth and offered that we could have it at their lake house, which is gorgeous. And it's pretty small, so we're just gonna have 30 people, and I was honestly so excited. But when I told my parents, they were so pissed off. They said that they had so many people they needed to invite. I swear at this point, my guest list is like 3/4 people, I don't know. But they pushed that they would pay for it because it needed to be a bigger venue. And we said no for months, but finally gave in. I mean, like, they were relentless about it. So last week, my mom invites me over, and it's her, my dad, and my sister's boyfriend. And she asks me what I would think about having my sister's boyfriend propose at my wedding and turn it into a joint wedding engagement party. Obviously, I say no. I told them that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. This day is supposed to be about me, and we're not gonna make it into a joint engagement party. And my mom starts screaming at me. She's calling me ungrateful, telling me that I am jealous and I can't just share one day with my sister. Sure, what do you mean share one day? My wedding day? No, I'm not gonna share my wedding day. And honestly, at this point, everything started clicking because it made no sense to me why they were even offering to pay for my wedding. But really, all along, my wedding was just a disguise to be a party for my little sister. So I storm out. I was not putting up with that anymore. The conversation was going nowhere. And that night, both my mom and my sister's boyfriend were blowing up my phone saying, you better not tell her about this. Like, you better not ruin the surprise. And my mom said that she doesn't care that I said no because it's not even my wedding. It's her wedding because she's paying for it. I was like, oh, Mom, your wedding? Didn't know I was getting a new stepdad. Like, congrats. After crying to my fiance all night about it, I decided to just swallow my pride and call my mom and literally beg her not to do this. I was straight up on the phone sobbing, saying, please don't do this to me. I just really want my wedding day to be about me. Please, like, I'll help you plan an amazing engagement party for her. It'll literally be better than my wedding. Just please don't do this. And all she kept saying was that I am being spoiled, I'm being a brat, and this could be an amazing family event, and I'm just ruining it because of how selfish I am. She also told me that if I tell my sister anything about this, she will cancel the wedding portion of the day and just make it my sister's engagement party. So we really see the real reason that she's paying for my wedding. After I was the biggest crybaby to my fiance for the remainder of the night, rightfully so though, rightfully so, we both decided that we would go and ask his grandparents if we could use their lake house again, which honestly, we should have just stuck to from the beginning. Honestly, at this point, we're fine just eloping. Anything to avoid whatever the mess that is happening right now. And some of you might say that I'm being dramatic about this, but I'm sorry. I spent my entire childhood, honestly my entire life, just being a background character in my sister's life. My wedding is about me. It's going to be about me, and I'm not gonna get bullied into it being any different. So my family can find out I'm married when I post the photos on social media. And sis, I hope you enjoy my wedding with all of the decorations that I picked out and all of the time I spent planning it. I hope it's the most magical day of your life.
Let him go. Let him go. You have been sad over him for quite some time now.
Don't ever allow someone to take your love from you. It's not theirs to take. That guy or girl is not your only source of love. Love is within you. and it's always yours.
I run a community for the girls here in Charlotte called Inner Circle Charlotte. I host monthly happy hours, quarterly themed events, and random pop-up behind-the-scenes experiences just for the girls to make friends and get to know this gorgeous city. Tonight's theme for our May Sip and Social is Sip and Swap. So I've asked all the girls to bring one of their favorite things between $10 and $20. Every girl is going to write their name on a little ticket and put it in a hat. They're all going to introduce themselves, talk about like what part of town they're in, any hobbies, what they do. They're going to introduce their item, and they're going to talk about why they love that item so we can get to know their personality. So mine is this little stationery pad that I got. If you get it, you get it. Sabrina Carpenter vibes. And I'm so excited to give this to another girl that I've never met before. We have so many more events on the calendar. We have 2 coming up in June. One of those is that self-defense class. Y'all, our events have been selling out really, really fast. Please make sure that you pay attention to social media where we tease all the dates and the event drops. Make sure that you are subscribed to our emails. That is where we actually open up the invites and send you guys all the links. I also want to mention that we're going to be launching new ways for the girls to get involved very soon, like hosting some of our events, supporting social media, etc. Okay, I can see some of the girls actually staring at me now and they're like, what are you doing in your car? So I'm going to run in and host this, but I cannot wait to see you guys very soon. So much goodness coming. Thank you so much for being part of such a special community.
I took my fiance home to meet my family and I left with no fiance. I got engaged this year to a man that I've been with for 3 years now, and it was heavenly bliss until he met my family. We went to meet my family because it was really important to my fiance to get their blessing. I honestly didn't care either way, but I just did it to make him happy, and everyone seemed genuinely happy for us. Before the trip was over, my older brother suggested that we all go on a little siblings and fiance trip up north to a cabin so that my siblings could get to know my fiance away from my parents, and I was a little bit reluctant because I don't typically spend this much time at home with my family. I agreed to go. Everything was going so well that I finally started to let my guard down and actually enjoy being with my siblings and hanging out with everyone. But this is where it starts to get crazy. The day before this vacation was over, everything changed. My sister and her husband were on their 17th fight of the day. It was only 11 a.m. and her husband left and stormed out, and my sister just stayed there crying, bawling her eyes out. I suggested that we should all go on a hike to clear everyone's heads since my sister was obviously not in a good mood, and my husband suggested that it just be us siblings that go, so my husband stayed back at the cabin while we went on a hike. Early on in the hike, my sister said that she really just wanted to go back to the cabin, and I offered to walk her back, and she said no, she just wanted to walk back alone and clear her mind.
Get ready with me while I tell you how my best friend's girlfriend dragged him and his mom to my house in the middle of the night to confront me. I know what y'all are thinking. Not the girl best friend, but no, really, it's actually not like that at all. All 4 of our parents grew up in the same hometown, and they've been friends since elementary school. Then when they were in high school, my mom and my dad started dating, his mom and his dad started dating, and they got married right after high school. They were high school sweethearts. It's pretty cute. None of our parents came from big families, so they always considered each other their families. I grew up always referring to my best friend's parents as my aunt and uncle, and to my best friend and all of his siblings as my cousins. And they were the same way. That's just how it's always been. They're just my family. A lot of people in my life actually don't know that he's not my real cousin because it's just so normal to me to refer to him as my cousin. That's how I see him. Out of all my best friend's siblings, I'm the closest to him because we're the closest in age, so we just grew up spending a lot of time together. But it's never been romantic in any sense. Neither of us have ever had a crush on each other. He's never even called me pretty. Let's be real. It has just never been like that. And I've gotten along with all of my best friend's ex-girlfriends and actually became friends with them myself because our relationship is so clearly a family dynamic, so there was never anything for any of them to worry about. About 1.5 years ago, my best friend started dating a new girl. Let's call her Jennifer. And Jennifer was not a fan of me. And listen, I tried my best to be nice to her, to get close to her, to build some kind of friendship. I would always ask her to go get lunch or hang out, and she wouldn't just say no. She would be so cold and rude about it. She would always give me backhanded compliments. The girl was kind of the worst, but even though I thought that, I never said anything to my best friend, and I was always super nice to her. I assumed that eventually she'd come around because none of his other girlfriends had ever had a problem with me. I was friends with all of them. So I just thought she must be in her head about the whole thing. And eventually, as she got to know me better and saw our friendship, she would know that there was actually nothing to worry about. But yeah, that's not what happened. As my best friend and Jennifer continued to date, I would hear from him less and less, which did break my heart because that's a member of my family. That's somebody that I've known since I was born, and suddenly they're just not really in my life anymore. At one point, I was moving and I had a ton of my friends over. They were helping me pack, get things ready for the move, and I'd asked my best friend if he could come over and help me move some of the heavier furniture. And when he gets there, it's him and Jennifer, and I was fine with that. I was like, oh, hey girl, like, what's up? Glad to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. And she just had the most sour look on her face. She goes, yeah, I'm sure you're glad to see me. I'm sure that you wanted him here all by himself, didn't you? I was like, no, I don't care what he brings as long as he's moving my furniture. That's really what I care about. So my best friend goes to start moving my couch, and I'm trying to make small talk with Jennifer, get on her good side. I'm like, what have you been up to? What's new? And she lowers her voice and just says, listen, I'm not here to be friends. I don't want to talk to you. I'm just here because there's no way I would ever let you be alone with him. I was like, what? Do you see how many people are in my apartment right now? There's a lot of people in this apartment. What do you mean alone? She goes, oh, your friends? You think I trust any of them either? I just straight up asked her, I was like, do you feel like I've done something since y'all been dating that's crossed a line? She's like, yes, you just existing crosses a line. Your friendship with him in general is crossing a line. I was like, my friend, he's a member of my family. I've known him since I was born. Do you just want me to unknow him? Then she looks me right in the eye and goes, never ask him to help you with anything ever again. I was like, is this a threat? Am I being threatened right now? Then, actually, the scariest thing I've ever seen, her complete demeanor changes, and she just skips on over to my best friend and is like, babe, can I help you with anything? Like, that looks really heavy. You're so strong. You know what? I tried being nice to this girl, but she's off. She is off. And I made a decision that day that while they were dating, I really needed to just distance myself in every way from him. If he is dating a girl like that, he is a smart boy, and he will figure out that it is not the right relationship for him in his own time, but I cannot be involved in that. And it's super sad because, again, I love him. He's a member of my family, but don't want to be in that drama. I didn't say anything to him about any of this situation because I just felt like it was best to stay out of it and let him figure out the things in his own relationship. But maybe I should have. Instead, I just kind of stopped reaching out as much, started responding a little less, and just started minding my own business. But last week, I worked really late, and I went to the parking lot to get in my car, and that's when I realized that my car battery had died. Great. Did I have jumper cables? No, I didn't. I made the decision the best person to call was my best friend because, 1, he's a night owl. I knew he'd be up. 2, he lived 5 minutes away from where I was. And 3, he works with cars, so he was kind of the perfect person to call. It really made sense to me. So I call him up, it rings twice, goes straight to voicemail. Then I call him again, goes straight to voicemail. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's busy. So then I send him a text saying, SOS, can you call me? I need your help. My car's dead. But the text goes through green. I was blocked. He blocked me. I was in that parking lot for 4 hours before AAA came to get me. So that was a really fun night for me. So the very next night, I am peacefully sleeping because, I didn't get much sleep the night before. And I hear an absolute pounding on my door. I think it's the police. That's how aggressive it is. And I wake up, I look at the time, it's 2:30 a.m. Who would be at my door at 2:30 a.m.? So I check my Ring doorbell and I see that it's not just Jennifer and my best friend, but also my best friend's mom, my aunt. So I go and I open the door and immediately my aunt's like, Kels, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm thinking it must be about the car thing from the night before because, again, I still haven't talked to my best friend. He still has me blocked. So I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine. Like, what are you talking about? And my aunt says, well, Jennifer and my son just showed up and Jennifer just told me that she needed to get over to your house immediately and there was an emergency and we needed to have a conversation with you. And now I'm really confused. I was like, so Jennifer went to my aunt's house in the middle of the night, woke her up and said, we need to go to Kelsey's house right now. And I look over at my best friend and he is just emotionless. It is like all the light was gone from his eyes. I've never seen him like that. That's when Jennifer goes, well, there is an emergency. We all need to have a conversation about why Kels called my boyfriend after midnight last night. And she starts going off. She's like, in no world is it ever appropriate for you to be calling another woman's boyfriend after midnight for any reason. I'm sitting there like, and me and my aunt, we're just looking at each other wide-eyed. Like, we're not even looking at her. We're just locking eyes with each other. Just finally, I'm like, can I speak? And she's like, yeah, but I don't know what you think you're going to say that's going to make any of this okay. I was like, okay, well, I was at work and my car battery died And he works with cars and was 5 minutes away, so I thought that he could help me jump my car. And you would have known that was the reason, because I did send a text, but I was blocked before I could give that explanation. So here we are. Like, what? Did she think I was calling him up to confess my love to him? Like, that's how delulu this girl is. That we've been friends my entire life. Nothing romantic has happened. None of us have ever had feelings, but she thought that one night I would just call in to confess my love. That's really what she thought. And I think my explanation is going to make sense to her, because I think that somewhere deep down, she is a rational person. But no, I gave her too much credit, because she looked me right in the eye and said, it's way better for you to be stranded than for you to ever call him. And that's when my aunt steps in and she pops off. She's like, first of all, this is a member of my family. You woke me up in the middle of the night and made me scared about her safety, wouldn't tell me what this was about, had me terrified. And now you're telling me that your delusions are more important than her physical safety? I can't. She looks at my best friend. She's like, I will never support this relationship. I don't want this girl around me. I'm still just standing there out in my pajamas and my bunny slippers. Like, then she hit his mom back with, fine, then neither of you will be invited to our wedding. What wedding? Like, this was the first time I was hearing about a wedding. But yes, she showed the ring on her finger. And apparently my best friend was not allowed to tell me about it, because Jennifer said that I shouldn't know anything about his personal life. As of now, the engagement is still on, and he is still banned from even saying my name out loud, much less communicating with me. But I talked to my aunt recently, and apparently he's having a lot of second thoughts about all of this. I have no idea what's going to happen next or what I'm going to do, but this whole situation is just out of control.
What lesson took you the longest to unlearn? Mine was that I can't fix everybody, and I shouldn't be with people if I'm trying to fix them. I need to learn how to be supportive and actually love someone for once.
I am 8 months pregnant, and my husband decided to leave me in the middle of nowhere in an empty gas station all by myself. He just drove off. I have been with my husband for 2 whole fucking years. This past year has been an absolute nightmare, because anytime we get in an argument, he has the habit of stopping the car, having me get out of the fucking car, and driving off. Now, you would think, because obviously I have my bag, that I could probably order an Uber or, ask someone for a ride, pay them to take me somewhere. But the thing is, me thinking he's going to come back and get me, I gave him about 10-15 minutes, and then all of a sudden all my accounts with him, because they're joint, they're locked. So I can't do shit. So I can either walk 20 miles to the house, or I'm shit out of luck. I decided the best thing would be to call my brother, who lives about 2 or 3 hours away, to come and get me. Because there's no way in hell that with me being 8 months pregnant, I'm gonna walk 7 fucking hours just to get home.
I caught my best friend's boyfriend cheating on her, and here is how. So me and my best friend always had this thing where if one of us had a boyfriend and we saw them with another girl, we would always ring each other and tell them. So basically, I was out shopping with some of my friends, and then I walked into like Nando's, because we all wanted to have a Nando's, and there her boyfriend was sat with some girl. And the thing that makes it 10 times worse, when I tell you this girl was in our friendship group, she was one of our closest friends. So I literally took a picture of them two together, and then I rang my best friend and I was like, look who your boyfriend is sat with. Yeah. And when I tell you she was not happy, well, naturally she's not going to be happy, is she? But she was fuming, and so was I. And she was like, oh my god, he told me he was going to Nando's with his boy, blah, blah, blah. Well, clearly he is not. But obviously he couldn't see me, because I was like the other side of Nando's, and he had like his back to me, so he couldn't see me. Wrong way. So then I rang my best friend and I was like, you need to come here right now. But anyway, I'm all ready and I need to go, so let me know if you want a part 2 on how we confronted him.
This is the story about how my ex's new girlfriend befriended me, and I had absolutely no idea who she was. So a few months after the breakup, I decided to join a gym. New era, new mindset, new me, And I started to see this super friendly girl in my Pilates class. Let's call her Jenna. So she compliments my leggings one day. We start chatting and boom, we're vibing straight away. She's funny, she's into the same shows as me, sends me silly little memes, even sends me like life updates when she messages me, and I started doing it back. I can't lie to you, I started doing it back and I enjoyed it. So we hang out a few times. And then she invites me to this wine night at her house with a couple of her girlfriends. And I go. I'm really excited, actually. I go and I'm sitting there, we're all chatting, and I've got my glass of wine, and it's halfway to my lips when I see it. I see a picture frame on the shelf with Jenna and my ex-boyfriend. I'm talking about the ex that I was crying on my bathroom floor over. The one who ghosted me after the we need to take a break chat. The one who was the reason I deleted Facebook and Instagram so that I didn't have to see his face every day. And now here I am, sitting in my new friend's house looking at his face. So I don't say anything. Bear in mind, there are other girls here. This is awkward. I'm thinking at this point, neither of us knew. I'm thinking this is some weird, strange coincidence. And what am I supposed to do? Stand up and say, hey, that's my ex-boyfriend? No, I don't say anything. I just leave. I make my excuses and I leave quietly. So I have quite a sleepless night that night. Because I'm thinking, you know, how do I bring... All I want to do is tell a story. And I've just spilt half a bottle of fucking oat milk. Anyway, as you can imagine, I had a sleepless night that night. Because I'm laying there trying to think of ways how I can address this, bring this up with my new friend, that actually we share something huge in common. Don't worry, I didn't have to tell her anything. You see, early the next morning, I received a message from her. And she said, hey, sorry if last night was weird. I just really wanted to see what kind of person he used to date. She knew. I got played by my ex's new girlfriend.
Bing bong! We did it! We... Bing bong? Bing bong!
You made it! Go!
I ain't gonna lie, the best thing to be right now is single with motion. And I only say that because motherfuckers out here acting like they healing, trying to get with the next motherfucker to get over somebody. They just claiming that they want this, but they really want that. They don't know how to speak up. So it's like, you know what? Just be single, because motherfuckers not gonna never tell you what it really is. So just be single and have a little bit of motion on the side type shit.
You can tell Jesus that the bitch is back.